welcome to Whiskey for Beginners, the thoroughly amateur channel which you are now watching. I'm Robert McKay, the thoroughly amateur dude who's doing the thoroughly amateur channel. Today, this video, the question I want to answer for y'all is, what do I look for in a whiskey video? If you're here on YouTube looking up whiskey videos, then it seems that this is a valid question that I can answer. And I phrase it the way I do because what works for me might not be what works for you. Each person's different. There are so many channels out there that do nothing for me but are very popular, so they're doing something for somebody. And then the channels that I like are also popular, so they're doing something for somebody, obviously. So what do I look for? First, I want real people. I don't want people out there who are doing, let me rephrase that, who are self-consciously trendy, who are making sure that their hair and their clothes and their words and their phrasing and their pronunciation are what is the most up-to-date, up-to-the-second stuff, whatever word you want, cool, trendy, fashionable, that I don't want. I just want people who are people. And that's one of the reasons, for instance, this is just one example, that I like SLB drinks. Kurt and Trenton are just normal people. I didn't learn until recently that Kurt has been doing drywall for years, but it doesn't surprise me. He's a real person. Real people do real jobs. I look for comprehensibility, and by that I don't necessarily mean either good English or colloquial English. I mean that I can understand it. And mostly what this is going to entail is as little jargon as possible. Any field of endeavor has its own terminology, including talking about whiskey. But don't call it a dram or a pour when you mean a whiskey. This is a good dram. No, it's whiskey. Speak English. And yes, I understand what they mean. They're not William F. Buckley, who actually I understand, so his big words don't faze me. But I want it to be in plain English. I don't want you to talk about this or that in words that, and this really connects to the trendy bit, that are just fashionable jargon. Speak English. I want it to be entertaining. Granted, I'm trying to learn something, but that doesn't mean it has to be boring. It doesn't mean it has to be dry. It doesn't mean it has to be academic. I look at, and there are three channels I really like. Four. One I've already mentioned, SLB Drinks. Then there's Stuff and Whiskey. That's the couple, Josh and Aaron. There is It's Bourbon Night. They rattle it off. They may be in Kentucky, but they say, it's Bourbon Night. Well, it's Bourbon Night. And that is with Chad and Sarah. And then there is a one-person channel called Beautiful Bourbon. And all these are in their different ways entertaining. They're fun. When they're talking about something, being real people, they all are. They're not putting on any airs. They're not putting up a front. They don't go for a certain look. They're just them. And that is why they're so entertaining, because they're real people. Fakery is not entertaining. I like, although this isn't a necessity, I like a channel which at least occasionally looks at stuff I can afford. And I don't want to whine at y'all, but I have a limited budget. As a general rule, I can't afford more than $40 for a bottle of whiskey, and I like it cheaper. On 3 occasions, I have spent $50 or more in 2 years. If you can find me a $20 bottle of whiskey that's good, I'll love it, at least for the price, and I'll probably buy it. Last night I had some Evan Williams bottled in bond. That's about a $20 bottle, and it's good stuff. So I want them to at least occasionally talk about something I can afford. And I want an honest channel. There are some reviewers who seem to think that they have to always find something to gripe about, or they must never find something to gripe about. Well, just tell the truth about it. I know that whiskey tasting is subjective. Somebody who says this is crap might be saying it honestly and sincerely and about something that I like. Or somebody may praise a whiskey to the sky, and I try it, and I think it's crap. That's how whiskey is. But tell me honestly what you think about it. If you think it tastes like vile junk, say so. Don't try to ease the distiller's feelings. The distiller's probably not watching. Although some of the bigger channels, yes, the distilleries, the distributors, they do pay attention. I grant that. I suspect that if Fred Minnick speaks, people listen, like the old E.F. Hutton commercials. But be honest with me. I'm not watching your channel so you can lie to me. And if I find you are, I will not watch your channel, which is no big deal. I'm one person, who's going to notice my presence or absence. But that's basically what I want in a whiskey channel, and that is what I try to deliver here. Granted, I'm not focused on entertainment. I hope I am at least not boring y'all to death. If I am, well, I guess that's just me. I don't think I'm boring. I don't want to be boring. I don't try to be boring. I try not to be boring. But who knows? Maybe I am boring to you. In which case, by all means, find somebody else to watch. But I try to be entertaining. I know I'm honest. If I don't like something, I'm going to tell you. If I do, I'm going to tell you. I speak plain English. In fact, I speak Southern English, if you hadn't noticed. I'm Texas hick and proud of it. And so if I'm pouring whiskey, I'll tell you I'm pouring whiskey, not a dram, not a pour, nothing like that. And I'm not an expert on anything, and I don't pretend to be. I try to be what I've said I want in the channel. If I succeed, all right. If I don't, unfortunate, but at least I'm not lying to you about who and what I am. I've never had a sign-off for these videos, but lately I've been thinking about it. I have no clue how to sign it off right now because I haven't thought that much about it. But I do hope you enjoy some good whiskey.